Happy solstice, everyone. I am here in the garden tonight. I actually came out after dinner and Brian's wrenching on a piece of equipment, and it is just the most glorious Friday evening. It is solstice, so the longest day of the year, or the brightest or the longest, sunniest day of the year. And although it's a little windy, I thought it is a perfect evening. The spirit moved me to do my first garden tour of the season. And although not much is really going on in here, I thought I'd just give you an update on how things are going, because actually the plants are really starting to finally take off. It was a very kind of wet and cool spring up until this point, but this week we are supposed to get some pretty stoking temperatures, and just in the last couple of days we've had some hot ones, and the plants basically went from 0 to 100 just overnight. So they're really starting to take off, which is nice. All the barn swallows are visiting from down the road. This is like the best time of night. It's still pretty sunny out, probably pretty bright out, but it's okay because the weather tonight is just perfect for a quick garden tour. So I am actually going to do some work in the garden tonight. Some or most of my garlic scapes are ready to be harvested, so I'm going to harvest those. And this year I'm going to do something new. So in previous years I have pickled garlic scapes, which I love. I've also made garlic scape pesto, which is good. But this year I'm going to try, I saw an Instagram reel about making garlic scape salt. So that's what I'm going to try. I don't think I have way more scapes than I think I can make this salt. So I'm going to perhaps see if some of my friends want some of them, because I do have 3 beds of Melissa garlic. So yes, but let's chat about what we've got going on here. These are my leeks, and what is this? Kale. And a few more leeks. At the front, I've got some calendula and some volunteer sunflowers. Throughout the garden this year, I've left most of the borage. There is a ton of it in here, and that's just because it fills in nicely. It's awesome for the pollinators, and so why not, to be honest, as long as it's not competing with the crops. And so some of these I might thin, but as long as it's not directly competing with the crops, I'm happy. Oh, there's a blue heron. Awesome. So these are all my snap peas. These are Brian's carrots. So the first 2 rows are up, and I'm going to work to thin those tonight. And I probably am going to thin them with a scissor. If I don't get to those, that's okay, because scapes are priority. And then he's got 2 other rows started under this cedar bark. That's what we use to germinate. And so once those are up and germinated, we will remove the cedar bark and let them grow on. Here is my garlic. So I have 3 beds, 1, 2, 3 beds of garlic, and I need to come in and harvest the scapes that are ready. So to know when to harvest your scapes, basically they just need to make a complete circle. So this one is a little bit more than that, but as long as they make a complete circle, they're ready to harvest. And I don't do any fancy cutting. I just snap them off. I find cutting them with any tool is a waste of time. So I just go in, grab the scape, and snap it off. So I'm going to do that tonight. On this trellis here, I actually think I forgot to start bean seeds, but I transplanted a lot of the purple potted bean seeds that grow up in the path from when I harvest them into here. But we also have some volunteer dill, so I've left all of that as well, just in case we get any black swallowtails. Or I want to make anything with dill. Aw, barn swallows. I love them. They're such cool birds. They're eating all the insects. They fight with the dragonflies. Oh, there goes one. So in this bed here, we have, what do we have? Volunteer sunflower. We have this is my cabbage bed that I wanted to be cauliflower, so whatever. We've got a couple volunteer sunflowers that look like they're really taking off. And then we have these pretty sad cucumber plants, and today I just realized that the striped cucumber beetles have arrived, so I'm going to just hand squish those as best I can, and hopefully the plants make it through the infestation. And then I have a whole bunch of volunteer tomatoes coming up in here, which I think are midnight snack, which is cool, so I'm going to leave those. In this bed here, we have a bunch of volunteer potatoes. If you ever plant potatoes in a bed, I honestly think you'll never get rid of them. But I don't care because it's free food, so we leave them. On the far left, those are the lumberjack beans from my friend Melissa. The Canadian kidney beans, only one germinated, but I reseeded this area. My gosh, I just had a barn swallow fly in front of me. I reseeded this row here with more lumberjack beans of the ones I grew last year. And then this is a row of the soup beans. I can't remember the exact name, so they are doing well also, mixed in between some volunteer sunflowers and all of the potatoes. So the pests that I've already dealt with this year include leek moth, which I feel like I got a pretty good handle on because I was on it early. So I hand squished, I cut off infested plant material. When I saw them, we had them covered for the first little bit, and then I actually have sprayed with BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, twice. And I'm going to apply that one more time in this week coming, and then hope for the best, because then we'll be close to harvest, in the next month or so. So that's this bed here. As you can see, we've got the irrigation in and running, which has really helped because they have promised us rain multiple times this year, and we have not seen hardly a lick of rain. Here's Brian's fig tree. We call this tree Figgy Duff. So we put it in here so that it was easy to water because we also have a hose hook up in here, hooked up to the irrigation. This bed here, what is in here? Oh yeah, okay, so we've got some butternut squash and some spaghetti squash, or vice versa. I didn't really even keep track. And then I tried to start from seed a zucchini, but it looks like it's already been pretty damaged from the striped cucumber beetle. Let's see if we can see any on here. I'm sure there will be. Yeah, two of them. Squish them. Ugh, I missed them both. Did I really? Gosh, I did. Yeah, so this little seedling probably won't stand a chance, and I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I see another one coming up just down the row, so yeah, they might not make it. I also planted climbers along here, and maybe those seeds just aren't viable anymore. I'm not sure. So not sure what I'm going to do there. I might throw in some more scarlet runners and just see what happens. This bed here, this is all of my peppers. So there are jalapeno, red and green bell peppers in here. And I actually already have a little pepper. I know I should have probably pulled these flowers, but this year I just didn't care. So there's my first little pepper. Kind of fun. Sometimes you just have to do what you can. And that's what we did this year. This bed here, this is, these are all cabbage again, which I didn't want to plant, but got them on accident. And these are my first row of tomatoes, and Brian has started to kind of sucker them and tie them up already. So that is really great. So we're off to the races there. In this bed, I've got some more cucumber plants, which took a long time to get going, but now they look like they're giving her. So hopefully the striped cucumber beetles don't get those too badly, but I'm prepared if they do. So whatever. And then some tomatoes. One of my tomatoes got completely eaten, and I have no idea what ate it. I don't know if it was Simon got in here. No clue. But also a couple of volunteer sunflowers. In this bed here, I've got some beautiful butter crunch volunteer lettuce, a couple of plants of that, some borage, which is about to flower, which is really nice, some volunteer dill, some volunteer nasturtium, lots of volunteers this year, which is really cool. It's cool to see kind of what comes up. And then some tomatoes. So this is the Sweet Millions, I think. Yep. And then a bunch of other tomatoes who will remain unnamed because I don't know what kind they are because I didn't label them. Then more snow peas. And on the back side, oh, I forgot to talk about the beans on this trellis. So on this side we have Scarlet Runner, and on the other side we have Cherokee Trail of Tears, which is one of my favorite beans to grow. And then in this bed here, we've got all of our onions on the outside, and then on the inside of the bed, these are all broccoli plants, which right now as a companion planting bed, I think it's okay because they're kind of keeping pace with one another, but I'm kind of worried that this back row of onions might get shaded out by the broccoli plants, but we'll see. At least we'll have one good row of onions. And it's important to note that I also sprayed the onions and the leeks with the BT because leek moth feeds on leeks. So we'll see if we see any kind of damage happening. And then, monster rhubarb, of course. But in this last bed here, I've got some spinach up front, which we've been devouring, and then a bunch of different varieties of lettuce, a couple of volunteer sunflowers, a lot of borage, and then the most cilantro one could ever need over there. And the cilantro is starting to bolt, as is some of the spinach I'm seeing here. So that season is almost done. I also just wanted to give you an update about the chicken situation. So no chickens were in the garden for about a week. And then they got in. Only one at a time typically. So I think they're flying over. I don't really know because we haven't seen how they've gained access. But I will say that the damage in here is minimal compared to what it could be. So it's not zero, but it's minimal. The other area I forgot to mention, which is always worth mentioning, is our little asparagus patch. Originally, they were way down in the downstairs garden, which has now been converted into Brian's kind of storage area. But then Brian moved them up here, and so now they've got full-on chicken protection. But we didn't harvest any asparagus this year and are really looking forward to harvesting some next year. Luckily, our friends shared some of theirs with us, so we've been enjoying that. All right, so there we go. The first garden tour on the solstice, which is perfect timing. To give you an update on where the garden's at. Super happy with my first harvest of scapes. There's about, 2 or 3 times more this amount, so plenty to share and pickle if I have time. But I'm definitely going to try to make some scape salt because I think that would be super tasty and definitely longer, or would last a nice long time in the pantry. So I'm looking forward to seeing how everything does this season. Kind of low amounts of effort on all of the plants, really, except for watering, which is nice. I'm going to let the striped cucumber beetle, other than just squishing the ones that I see, take their course, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll get something to harvest there, but pretty low stakes this year, which is nice. The pressure is off, and I'm really just looking forward to spending some time in the garden. I heard Jess Sowards from Roots and Refuge say, and she says it all the time, that her garden is wooing her, and I haven't had that feeling yet this year, but tonight the garden is wooing me. The light is beautiful. The chickens are mostly on the outside, walking around in the fields of clover. Yeah, it's just something sitting just right tonight. So Anyways, thanks for joining me. Have a great day. I hope your gardening season is off to a great start. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.